Okay, it is now exactly 12 o'clock p.m. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. The title of today's presentation is Digital Badges for Adult Education. Our presenter for this afternoon will be Blair Roy, an OTAN staff person. Just to go over a few housekeeping rules. If you guys have any questions, please be sure to post them into the chat pod. Throughout this webinar today, we will address questions. So please feel free to post any questions you may have. The webinar will be recorded and available on the AEBG website, as well as all supporting documents, including a copy of today's PowerPoint presentation. Please download those resources under the resource pod, which can be found in the lower left-hand corner. All you have to do is click on the document, select download file, and a download option will come onto your screen. When you enter the room, please press the white or green sound icon at the top of the window. This will provide you. A headset is preferred for best sound quality in these webinars. If you do not have a headset, audio through your computer is fine. If you are unable to use your computer, you have the option to dial in. Our telephone number is listed below. It's 855-369-0450. The passcode is 630-11611. If you are using a Wi-Fi connection and the audio is breaking up, it may be an issue with your connection. If it's going in and out, in just a few seconds it should correct itself and you will be fine. If you're using a landline or a cell phone and the audio is breaking up, please be sure to hang up and dial back in. If you are hearing an echo as I speak at this time, please be sure to check that you are not signed in more than once. If there is a number 2 next to your sign-in name, that's an indicator that you are signed in twice. You will need to sign out and sign back in, and then click the Listen Only option. If you would like to increase your screen to full screen during any part of this presentation, you are able to do so by pressing the full screen icon up top. It's the 4 arrows facing outward. But please note, if you do select the full screen option, you will not be able to see or contribute to the chat pod. In order to get back to the chat pod in a normal screen view, please select the full screen icon up top again. This time it will be 4 arrows pointing inward. As always, if you have any support requests, please feel free to reach out to AEBG TAP at tap@aebg.org, or you can submit a support request via the AEBG website. You can give us a call at our telephone number, 888-TAP-AEBG. And then immediately following this presentation, an evaluation will appear on your screen. Please be sure to fill out this evaluation. It is very critical to the work we do here at AEBG TAP, and we welcome all feedback to A, improve our webinars, and B, provide any technical assistance or professional development you may be seeking. So once the evaluation appears on your screen, please just take about 2 minutes to fill it out. We would greatly appreciate your feedback. So now I will turn it over to Blair, who will get us started with the Digital Badges for Adult Education webinar.
Okay, thank you, Veronica. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that very thorough introduction. Getting acclimated to Adobe Connect. That was wonderful, Veronica. Thank you very much. So today we'll be looking at digital badges for adult education. And let me get through my... So the agenda that we're going to go through today is I'll give you a little bit of an introduction. We'll talk about digital badges. We'll look at some of the research, the terminology. We're going to actually go through today and doing this online. We're going to try to create a digital badges in a Credly account. We're also going to look at earning and managing and digital backpacks. We'll talk a little bit about sharing digital badges that have been earned, and then we'll have a reflection poll. Again, just to reiterate from Veronica, there will be an evaluation that will open up at the end, and that's very valuable to all of us. At any point in time you have a question, please enter it into the chat pod, and I don't mind stopping to answer a question, and then we can get right back on track. So that's no problem at all. Or you can save your questions to the end, whatever works best for you. The objectives for today. By the end of the session, I'm hoping that you'll be able to explain the concept of open digital badges. You'll be able to recognize badging vocabulary. You'll be able to demonstrate how to create and award digital badges, hopefully to your students or possibly your colleagues. And also, we'll examine possibilities of using digital badges in your program and how it might work for you. So my name is Blair Roy. I've been with OTAN for 7 years. Prior to being at OTAN, I was actually in Garden Grove Adult Education down in Southern California. My responsibilities of OTAN, I've had the pleasure of working with Moodle, which also has a badging system within it, so that's been fun to learn how to use. I've worked with getting our external trainers or our subject matter experts doing face-to-face workshops, online workshops, and then I've had the honor of being the lead on the Student Succeed program, which if you're not familiar with it, please go to the OTAN website. There's a link on from the front page, look it up, and consider nominating one of your students for our Student Succeed program. So I did create a website, and let me give you the link to it. Pull this up real quick. That has the resources for today. It has the PowerPoint. If you do go out to the website and it didn't come through as a link, I apologize. You can just copy and paste that though into another tab. The link is also within the digital badges handout for today, so you can always refer back to that later. It's just a very basic website. It has some resources for you around, thank you very much, Penny, with digital badging. It has today's presentation as well as one that I did, a 3-hour face-to-face presentation, which is lower on that presentation page. So you'll see both of the slideshows on the page, but I left it because the 3-hour goes in a little more depth than what we'll be able to cover today. The basic information is the same, and we're all going to make badges. So, but feel free to use that as a reference for the future. So a little bit about OTAN. How many of you are OTAN members? Do we have any OTAN folks in the house? Maybe I should find out a little bit about you. Penny's an OTAN member. And if you're not an OTAN member, where do you come from? Tell me, why don't we, I see Patty Long, yes. Good. You know, this is a little different for me. I've never done an online AEBG TAP workshop, so I'm trying to figure out the correct question to ask you. Maybe I should ask you what your position is out there in the adult ed arena. How about that? Where do you teach? Are you an instructor? Are you an administrator? I know, Patty, I've got you, but just to get a little more information about you, if you'd be willing to share that. So OTAN has a lot of resources. This is in the presentation that's online on the webpage too, and I hope that you'll, if you're not an OTAN member, that you will look into what the resources are. They're available to anyone. So we would love to see you use some of our resources. And look at that. Okay, great. Oh, good. Some new places. Perfect. Got a nice selection of people. Okay. I see some people are still tapping. So this also shows you that, and obviously you've come to TAP, so you know how to get to TAP workshops. So please continue to type. I'm watching as you do that. It's fun to know where everybody's from. Great, so we have some local and we have some from far away. We're covering the state. Wonderful. So a little bit about me. It took me a long time to figure out why I wasn't real enthusiastic about badges in the beginning. Some of you may know who John Flashman was. Probably about 5 years ago, he was involved with a project looking into digital badging for adult education. And I can remember thinking I didn't get it at first. It didn't make any sense to me. I thought a digital badge, badges, madges, what is it going to do? How are earners really going to be motivated by this? How is it going to impact learning? And it took me literally, I got the badges bug, but the way that I got the badges bug was because I bought a Fitbit device. Anybody a Fitbit user in the audience? So I got a Fitbit device, and with that, I started earning badges. And it actually took me a long time to realize that I was being motivated. Every time I got a badge, I wanted a new badge. And that motivation was part of what helped me understand how we could apply this with our students as well. I'm not a gamer. I was never much into video games, so I don't think that the gaming part really impacted me as much. But the more and more that I've read about digital badges, the inception of it, they've probably been in the forefront of talking about it since about 2007. I think that looking at how gaming and how the motivation for many of our learners or our learners' children, they understand that motivation that comes with earning badges and going to different levels. So I had to make a different path to get there, but I hope that by the end of this, if you're not already, does anybody earn badges? Let me ask you this question. Anybody earning badges right now? Do you have an exercise badge? Anybody shop at Target? And we'll talk a little bit more about a lot of different places, but that are offering badges today. I know that yesterday, one of my bosses came to me, was all excited because she just earned her Serengeti badge through her Fitbit app and was very, very excited. So I think that we can take, Matt, my run, good. I think that we can take this enthusiasm that we're doing on these levels and apply this to education with the motivation of the gaming. Ah, yes, CalPro does. Perfect. All right, thank you. So the whole concept of badging and oh, good. Yes, Omar, you know that Pearson VUE actually has a whole badging system with some of the testing that they do. So absolutely. Learning takes place anytime, anywhere. We all know that. And how do we recognize these skills? And this is a wonderful graphic that I hope you can see this large enough. It's basically, we've got this earner that's out in the community doing things, is also in our classes mastering new skills. And how does this learner pull this all together? And digital badges is one of the concepts that has come through with this, is that earner can take all of these different skills, put them together in one place, that would be a digital backpack, and then share them with the world. It gives a more complete picture of what our earners are actually doing out there. I have a great video that if you go to the website and you look at the other presentation, there's a great video that kind of goes through the process of all the different ways that we're earning badges and how digital badges can help represent that. So digital badge is basically just an online representation of a skill that you've earned, but there's much more that comes up to it. Open badges or open digital badges actually take that concept up a notch. So we have, let me stop here. Anybody ever earned badges as a kid? Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, anything? Okay, so we all know what the concept of a badge is, right? So a digital badge is merely going to be that badge, but we're going to put it online. And I don't know if the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts have started making their badges digital or not, or if they're all still just physical. But when we have them online, we can now click on that and we can see everything that was done to earn that badge. Open digital badges, they are free and they're open, meaning that they can be transferred from one place to the other and they can be shared. They're also possibly stackable, so you have to earn 5 badges to earn the 5th badge or the 6th badge, which encompasses all 5 of those skill sets that you might have earned. And that's just what stackable means. I'm just kind of throwing a lot of vocabulary at you right now, but as you start reading more about badges, as we go through the presentation, you're going to hear the same terms repeated throughout. Evidence-based, this is important in that it gives our digital badges some concrete evidence of someone's skills that they've mastered. And then portable. Truly an open digital badge can be moved from one site to the other. So if you earn a badge in Credly, you should be, or because it's portable out of Credly, you can move it over to Facebook and share it with your Facebook group, or you can send it out to an employer. So who are the parties involved in digital badging? Well, we have the issuer, and that is anybody in the way of an institution, an organization, CalPro, OTAN. We offer digital badges. Companies who create the badge, you verify the completion of the skill or the achievement, and then you issue the badge to the learner. The second party would be the earner, and that would be your student, or possibly it would be you if you're taking professional development. So the learner has demonstrated a mastery of tasks through project-based activities or assessments. So badges are typically based on more project-based kind of learning as opposed to just seat time. Well, you had 100% attendance, so we're going to give you a badge. That may possibly be a badge that you would want to consider doing, but then you could also take that badge that there was the 100% attendance and you mastered these skills. And then we have the consumer, and that would be someone who views the badge awarded to the earner. So you have your students that have earned badges. They take those and they can share them with future employers or possibly educational institutions, and then that entity knows what the student is capable of. So not all digital badges are created the same, and I mentioned a couple of slides ago that we have digital badges, but we also have open badges. And the portability of open badges, meaning that they can move out of the system, it allows the issuers to distribute badges to learners. We have the earners can move badges from the issuer site to or email it to a personal backpack. And then we also have earners can organize and move badges to online sites to share with potential employers in the world. So when we're talking about digital badges, you'll hear me say badges, digital badges, open digital badges, open badges. You'll also hear, when you start looking into the literature, you'll hear about credentials and micro-credentialing. So most of the uses that I've seen with the word or the terminology micro-credentialing has to do with professional development. So teachers that are working on their skills, taking professional development as they earn them, they may be earning micro-credentials. We also have micro badges, which is a smaller focus. I mentioned that maybe you earn 5 micro badges and then you get the one big badge or the one badge that encompasses the 5 badge to master that particular skill. Digital backpack is another important term that what the digital backpack does, it allows the earner to have a place to organize and display badges. And then baked, which is one of my favorite terms. So A couple of years ago, I received a badge because I was presenting at a conference. And I say badge, and if you could see me, I would be doing air quotes, which around the badge. I got this in my email, and I was all excited that I had earned this badge. Well, it turned out that it wasn't truly a badge. It was an online sticker, or it was just basically an image, because no matter what I did with that image, if you clicked on it, nothing happened. Well, what you're going to see with the badges is that badges actually are baked, which means that there is metadata behind that badge that tells you who earned it, who issued it, what the criteria was that was met to earn it, and the skills that were mastered. And that means baked. And that takes that digital, or it takes that image and makes it verifiable and makes it more important. And I see Jody is typing something. I'm going to take just I'm going to let Jody type. Oh, my audio is fading in and out. Is that just me? Everyone. Okay, so I'm going to let somebody work with Jody because we don't want to lose Jody. So the metadata is, that's what I was just mentioning, that when you have a baked badge, you have metadata in it. And its badges can offer information-rich metadata, which is created by the issuer. So you as the issuer would create the information. You're going to decide what the criteria is that needed to be met through the work submitted to demonstrate competency or mastery. So I'm seeing that slight fading in and out. So I have a headset on, so I'm not moving away from the microphone, but I'll try to sit stiller and see if that makes any difference. It shouldn't. This is our second set of headphones, so I don't know. My guess is that the recording will be better, even if it's not sounding good to you right now. Veronica, do you want to chime in? Or should I'll just keep going? Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So this is a great image just to kind of get you thinking about what the badge is. So we've got the image, and in here we can see what a badge actually has in it. So this is an anatomy. So you've got a badge name. You have a description of what the badge represents. You have the criteria that needed to be met. You have an issuer, which is the organization or the individual that's issuing this badge. If there's any evidence, they can also include that with the badge. You have a date issued, and you may actually have an expiry date as well, an expiration date as well. Some skills may need to be retested periodically. And then you could also attach standards and then tags. Okay, so what is the value? Knocking? Okay, so my mic is not, I moved my hair out of the way, so we're going to assume I was moving my hair to make things clearer. So hopefully no more knocking, and I'll quit fading in and out. So what is the value of the digital badging system? So we've got an idea that we have to have, we're going to have an image, we're going to have metadata behind that. It's going to tell us what that badge represents and who the person was that issued it. This is one of my my major concepts that I take with digital badging, that all of the parties must have confidence in the value of the badge for the system to create pathways for the learner. And Penny and I had the pleasure of going, Jody Slider, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Jody. She's with the About Students Regional Consortium for Adult Education, in Southern California, down in the Corona Narco, and they did a wonderful event. And the thing that was so powerful to me at the badging event that they held, I believe it was in the spring, was that they had the community there as well, and they had employers that were excited to work with the consortium to create a badging program. So you had the schools, you had the teachers, you had the administration, you had the badges that were being created, but you also had the some local employers there that were very excited to be able to know that when a student came to them with a badge, that they knew that that badge had a represented mastery and competency. So and I asked Jody if I could if anybody's interested at the end, Jody would be willing to talk to people and tell you a little bit about their rollout. It just has been very, very exciting. So digital backpacks, I mentioned a little bit about this. This gives a place for learners to collect, display, and distribute their badges. What we're going to look at today is a system called Credly. It's an online system. It is free at a certain level that you can create badges and issue badges to your students. So it's a place to start, a place to, thank you so much, Jody, a place to start working with badging and kind of jumpstart the whole process. So why would you want a badge? And just a couple of points to reiterate. In the real world, learning can happen anytime, so this gives our learners and ourselves a way to collect that that representation of mastery outside of just a specific area. It demonstrates competency, mastery, or achievement of skills. It's just another way to display specific expertise that maybe a diploma or certification does not always reflect. They can be motivational, as I said, with the gaming part. There's been a lot of research on gaming and motivation, so I think it's a great place to get started with that. And then become part of a community. As I said, one of my bosses came up to me yesterday and was all excited because she had learned her Serengeti badge and she wanted to show it to me because we're both on Fitbit together. So micro-credentials for professional development. Digital Promise has partnered with Bloomboard, and they've done they have a platform to support educator micro-credential ecosystem. And at this, and you can actually go out to this site, you can, teachers can sign up for these free courses that they have offered, that you can, as you complete the courses, you'll get micro-credentials for your professional development. So just another way that digital badging is working, that not only as looking at it for ourselves, but possibly for our students, but looking at it for ourselves and how we could start earning credentials as well. Badges as well, or micro-credentials as Digital Promise calls them. So we've got a lot of institutions. We have educational organizations, companies, nonprofits. And I already asked you if anybody was earning digital badges. Has anybody ever earned? I'm going to let you type for a minute because I need to take a sip of water. Have any of you ever earned a digital badge? And if so, from where? Tell me where you earned it for. I know that we talked about CalPro. Okay, perfect. We have a Googler in the house. Stephen, great. Yes, and Marjorie, you talked about Moodle. Moodle does have digital badging within it. So as a student completes activities or courses, they can earn badges. They are open badges, so they can be moved out of Moodle to a digital backpack. And CalPro, so Stephen, I believe you earned yours with CalPro through your Moodle course, is that correct? Vicki, North Star, yes, a wonderful program. They have a great badging program as well. Vicki, so your students are using North Star and they're earning badges as they work? Perfect. Jody's talking about Corona Narco has professional developing training and they're issuing badges. Perfect. Great. Vicki, how do your students, since you've talked about your earners or your learners, how do your students feel about earning those badges through North Star? And I'm putting you on the spot here, but that's okay. Oh, good, Stephen. Thank you. 21st century skills for students. Good. So we'll let Vicki finish typing. Great. So they find the content difficult, but they're motivated by the badging if they don't get it the first time. Great. Well, good. There goes to my gaming theory. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your participation. So these are just some examples. You know, this is death by PowerPoint for the next couple of slides. So we don't have to read through all of these. You can look at them later. They're all links. Any of these you want to click on from the presentation that's online, you can do that and look at who's supporting digital badges. But in here you may find some MacArthur Foundation. We have Badge the World. We have, and I don't know if you pronounce this, Learning, I think you do, the acronym. So some great places, Digital Promise that I also mentioned earlier, some great organizations leveraging badging. And then again, another death by PowerPoint slide. So I'm just going to click through these real quickly. You may recognize some of these. We were issued digital badges from CUE in the last 2 years. They've started doing it. Khan Academy, unfortunately, the last time I checked, Khan Academy's badges were internal, so they weren't open, but the students were, or the learners were earning the badges. They just couldn't port them out of Khan Academy. The same thing with Schoology, and I think part of that has to do with, and something to think about, is you've got personal data attached to that. You have a name, you have an email address. So that has to be considered, and I think both Khan Academy and Schoology are working under those terms. Whereas we have Moodle, which will let you port your badges out, and we have there's North Star. So we have a lot of different groups, and this is just the tip of the iceberg on who's issuing digital badges today. I actually have a Google notification set up in my with my Google account, and every day I get emails about they go out and scan the Google universe and anything that's mentioned about digital badging. And this is one of the last ones that I just read. I had never heard of Salesforce Cloud Software, but just in the beginning of November, this company, and this is just a little summary of what they're doing, they're rewarding their successful employees with digital badges to prove that they've mastered particular tasks or skills involving cloud software. So we've got more and more organizations, more and more educational groups that are starting to award badges. A little over a year ago, this was a partnership that started. It came out of eSchool News, and it for professional development, it's UOP and PDLN. So it was one of the first to offer educators credits from a university in conjunction with professional learning. And third-party evaluation is how the PD Learning Network team assigns value and validation. So we're seeing more and more organizations trying, testing out, and implementing the use of digital badging. So how do you create them? If you get to bend Jody's ear, you'll find out how they've done it. They have a service that, and I've met the gentleman that's part of it, but they hired someone to create their whole back end side of the digital badging, which is, I mean, it's just awesome. I can't even come up with a better word. It really is an amazing system. But in the meantime, so how do you jumpstart yourself? There are lots of places out there. There's Credly. That's what we're going to look at today. For All Systems. Thank you so much, Jody. There's Badgelist. There's a new one that I just read about recently called Badgor. So if you do a Google search for creating digital badges, you're going to see lots of different groups. We started off with Credly several years ago here at OTAN, so that's what I've been working with, and that's what we'll go through today. But I'm not using Credly over a different system because it's any better. It was just one of the ones that some of our teachers really liked. So these are examples of badges that are created in Credly. What I wanted you to see here with the example, so the first badge, name your badge, it wasn't even completed. It just got started. That's just a basic design. But the other three on the top are all badges created by Credly. So you get to pick some colors, you do borders, you do images, you have icons provided by the Noun project that you can fill in. The ones on the bottom, what I wanted you to see was the difference is you can see the consistency and the uniformness of the ones on the bottom. We have a graphic artist here at OTAN that was able to put together a group of standard badges for us for each of the different workshops that we offer. And so that's the difference with those, is that they were actually designed in-house, and then you're able to take that design, upload it into Credly, and then you can do everything. You can add all of the other metadata with that. So just to kind of give you an overview. Jody, I believe, Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't one of your employers, possibly a teacher or a staffer, develop the designs for your digital badges that then For All Systems used? And they are, oh, is that Omar? That's not Omar, is it? They are just beautiful. We had a team of us. Okay. Carlos, yes, I remember meeting all of y'all. Okay, so I'm going to actually, I'm going to get away from our PowerPoint. What I'm going to do is take you out and I'm going to show you some examples of what a badge can look like. These are all badges in Credly. And of course, when I had to restart my computer for the fourth time, let me open up I lost my my browser that was all set up and ready to go. But that's okay, because we'll get to it anyway. All right, so I'm going to let you hang on 1 minute. We're going to go out to the internet. And I'm going to go here and here. And I'm assuming that you're seeing my Firefox browser. Somebody give me a heads up on that. Yes, perfect. And let me give you my first example. Sorry about this. Okay, so hopefully you're able to see this. And what I'm going to do now, so you've seen what the badge looks like, what an image, an example of what that looks like. So we're going to look at the inside. Let's look at what does the metadata look like. And I'm using different organizations from Credly that have issued badges. And we're going to go through, and these are the things that you're going to create today, I'm hopeful. We have the issuer detail over here, and it says the workplace, and I don't remember what the rest of that is. I think it's Workplace Answers. That's the name of the organization that is using Credly to issue all of these badges. So the title of the badge, we have Student Empower Honors. You have a badge description, and I'll let you read through that. The badge celebrates a successful completion. So it gives, if I were to see this badge somewhere, I should be able to click on it, and I can get to all of these badge details. I can see who the issuer is. I can see the description of what the person had to do that indicates that the learner received training on violence prevention. And I see the criteria, if there is any, and I have an issue date. So these are the things that you're going to want to actually do today in your badge. Let me open up another sample. Okay, this is a Credly user. His name's Rich Suarez. And these are the different badges that he's earned. And this is a digital backpack. So Rich has a Credly account. He has all of his badges, and he's making them public. So anyone can go in and see it, but you don't have to. You can make them private if you want. And he's just earning badges. So he has a social media badge, a WordPress badge, internet research, email management, and office applications. So let's go out to his office applications. And now we can see this is actually, he got a congratulations on his badge. And we have the issuer, which is this organization. And it tells us the badge recognizes a successful completion of the Virtual Assistant Bootcamp office applications. So it signifies that the recipients have studied effective strategies for handling different office applications, such as Google Docs, spreadsheets. So you get a very good idea of what he's had to do in order to get this badge. And it gives you some more information here. And I'm assuming that y'all can read that, so you don't need me to keep reading to you. Just wanted to give you some examples of what the metadata looks like with the digital badge, because in a minute I'm going to have you writing up some metadata for your badge. And then we can see with this particular badge we actually had evidence, and let's see where it takes us. And it's not coming up, so we're not going to take any more time on that. I don't know if it's a bad link, but we won't do that. So that kind of just gives you an example of what the metadata looks like on these badges. And this is the back end of what Credly looks like. So what I'm going to do now, getting back to my slideshow, let's see. So what I'm going to have you do at this point is is everybody ready to create a badge? Are we game? We have 45 minutes. I think we can do it. So if you are all interested in doing this, this is what we're going to do next. Here's my Adobe Connect window. Okay. Here we go. The problem with having 3 monitors, right? Okay, so if we go back to my slideshow, what I'm going to have you do is go to Credly. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to go live again. I'm going to let you. So what I would like for you to do is to open up a new tab. Don't close the Adobe Connect room, but you'll just open a new tab on your browser, and you're going to go back and forth between the new tab and the Adobe Connect window, because I have all of the steps for you on how to do this in my PowerPoint. So this will give you the ability to follow along with me and at the same time. So let's all go to a new tab, open a new tab. I want you to type credly.com in your tab and you're going to open up Credly. And we're going to click on the sign in button in the upper right hand corner. And I see Veronica is typing. Thank you, Veronica. You can just click on that tab. Now, as I said, make sure you don't close the Adobe Connect room. So I'm going to have you go back and forth between one tab and the other. So once you get to Credly, I want you to click in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to have you click sign in, and when you do that, you're going to come to the sign in sheet, and that's where we're going to create an account. So open Credly, come back to the Connect room, and maybe give me a yeah, it might be easier to do it in the chat pod. Tell me yes, you're good. And when we have enough of you that have said yes, you're good, and if you're not good, let us. So once you're at the Credly page, if you look right below, you've got Facebook, LinkedIn, sign in, next. Teeny tiny, I don't know why, but it's very small. It says new to Credly, create an account. So go ahead and create your account. So now what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to create your account. You're going to have to go to your email, and you're going to have to, I think you have to authenticate it. Let me make sure. Or you might be able to just go straight in, but I'm pretty sure you have to authenticate it. So what I'm going to do next is have you create your Credly account. Verify, oh, I'm sorry, you are an issuer. Thank you very much. That was a great question, Mark. So Mark is saying that he's in. If you could then, once you've completed your Credly account, come back and type, okay, I'm in. That works great because it's different than yes. And I'm good. Wow, this is fast. Y'all are fast. Anyone having trouble? Of course, if you're having trouble, I'm asking you, and now you're trying to navigate three things, right? And if you don't want to create the Credly account, that's fine. You can follow through with me, and you can always do it later in a more relaxed setting. Okay, perfect, Lorena. Yes, you can, not a problem. Make sure that you've downloaded the 3 documents, and that the one earn a badge today, the Credly directions gives you step-by-step directions on how to create a badge. So unless I don't see anyone having problems, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to the next slide. So you're now in your personalized home page. And I will tell you this can get to be a little confusing, but we'll stay here, and you're at your personalized home page, and you can manage your account from here. So you should be able to see that you've probably earned a badge. Has everybody earned one badge from Credly? Great, Patty. I think that as soon as you create your account with Credly, you earn a badge. So you should have one badge from Credly. No, you haven't gotten it yet? Oh, maybe you have to have an account for more than 30 minutes, because I think you do get it pretty quickly. So hopefully you'll get it. Let's see what Mark's saying. Oh, when you validate the Credly email. Okay. Good, thank you, Mark. Claim it on the email Credly sends. Very good, thank you. It's always great to have people that know more than you do here. Thank you. You're going to be an issuer, Sigrun. And Patty's lost the sound. So I'll let somebody help Patty. All right, so if we're looking at our interface, what we want to look at, we have earned badges is number one. We have created badges. Those are badges that you could create. So you can be an earner and you can be an issuer. So that's not a problem. You'll have in both tabs, you'll see that. You Number 3.3 is where you can start by to issue a new badge or to create a new badge. Number 4 gives you the details about you have requests, badges that you've given, and you can run reports. And then number 5 just gives you a quick overview of all of the badges you've either earned or depending on what you're looking at. Okay. So now what I'm going to have you do is we're going to, from the user interface, I'm going to have you select new badge. And once you've, let me note here, Credly refers to badges as credits, which should probably have been in my PowerPoint, but you're getting it now. So they may refer to it as a badge or they may refer to it as a credit. Not to be confused, but they're the same. So once you have selected issue a new badge, you should be able, or you should see this page where you can start creating your badge. So the next step would be to customize this, to select that button to get started creating. Once you click customize, again, this is just an overview slide of the things. You can choose a shape. You have an icon. You can add your text. You can change your border and you can do your colors. Unless you've had a design team design your icons, then you can just upload them. You'll see there at the bottom, it says upload your own design. There are some specifics. You need to have a specific type of image and it can only be a certain size. So you will want to be aware of that. So what I would like to do is check in with you, see where you are. Those of you that are working along with me, I would like for you to click on describe this credit, and that's where we want to go first. We're going to do the hard part first, then we'll do the fun part. Save the fun for last. So if everyone could come back into the Connect room and let me know that you see describe this credit and you saw that option, so that we can have you start creating the specifics of your badge. Good, everybody's got it. So the first thing you want to do is give your badge a name. And for today's exercise, we won't spend a lot of time doing this, or you can make it a real badge. You can either do it as a practice badge, a test badge, but whatever you name it, you are going to, not necessarily this badge, but if you want to earn a badge for today, then I'm going to have you actually create a badge that you will send to me or issue to me, OTAN Techie. So we're going to have you describe it. You're going to add a short description if you would like. And then you're probably not going to allow others to claim this credit. You're going to just be issuing them on your own. So once you've done, you've named it and you've given an optional short description. When you select add more detail, you're going to see this screen. And this is where you're going to add your credit description and your credit criteria. So I'm going to give you about, for those of you that are creating badges, I'll give you 5 minutes to name it, describe it or to name it, and then to add credit description and credit criteria. And then, so let's say at 1 o'clock. That's 6 minutes. That's too long. 12:59. For those of you that are watching, if you have any credit questions right now, I would be happy to answer any questions you have as they start developing their badges. This is probably the hardest part of the workshop for me because I have to sit patiently and quit talking. So as you name it, description, and do the credit description, the criteria, come back into the room and let us know how it's going. Please. Great. So Stephen, what is the name of your badge? Ah, yes, it is easy, isn't it, Patty? MA terminology. Wonderful. Great. So, Diana, did you hear me talking about your Serengeti badge that you earned yesterday? I'm assuming that's the Diana that I think it is. Maybe not. And if it is, just go along with it, Diana. Maybe just say yes. So Stephen has an MA terminology badge. Great. I did mention you. So anybody else have a name of a badge? Oops, I hit the mic. That was me. I apologize. I started moving around. And thank you, Patty, for the confirmation that it's easy peasy. That's what I like. Oh, Winter Summit attendance. Very good. Marjorie's creating a badge. Oh, good. Student ambassador. Great. All right. So are we getting an orientation and assessment? Wonderful. So have we added, are we through with our credit description and our credit criteria? Or do you need a few more minutes? I'm trying not to move much. Oh, wow. Pam, that sounds great. CCAE Southern Winter Conference on February 10th in Fallbrook, California. Great. Pam, do you want to put the, I'm going to ask a question. Is it okay? I'm assuming it's okay. Pam, can you put the link for registration in the chat box so that participants can register? That would be wonderful. Also, we should probably mention that AEBG TAP is an AEBG or having a summit. And Veronica, if you want to put that information in for the January summit, that would be great. Or we can do it at the end, whatever you're good with. But thank you, Pam, absolutely, for suggesting that. Oh, I see you have the CCA site. Okay, state website. Perfect. You have the information there. Perfect. Thank you so much, Pam. So how are we doing on our badges? Are we ready to move on to the next part? Thank you, Pam. Okay, perfect. Vicki, I see that you're ready to go. Oh, Omar, you're ahead. Let's move on then. All right, so we've done the hard part. So the require evidence, you're probably, that's up to you whether you want to require evidence or not that you're going to add. You can add categories. That's for you to be able to organize them, and if you make them public for other people to find them. And the expires, just remember that that's there. I know that we have one teacher that teaches phlebotomy and they have to retest every 6 months. So she does an expiration dates on the badges so that they run out after 6 months and they go back in and get tested again. All right, so I go to, so the credit description, the expiring, and then the evidence. So how do you change the shape? So we're going to go to, once you finish that part, now we're going to go to shape. So you're going to use this toolbar down the side, click on the shape. Has everybody figured out how to, okay, that's okay, Sigrun. Thank you so much for coming, and the video will be, the recording will be available soon. So you're going to click on the shape. I'm going to, let's see. And you have 6 options unless you design your own. So click on a shape, go ahead and do that. That shouldn't take too long. Then what we're going to do, note that at any time you can save your badge. You can always come back to it and edit it. And even after you've issued the badge, you can change it, update it, and edit it. So the next icon after you've selected your shape is the, or the next icon, yeah, is the icon to change the icon. And you've got, I think, over 3,000 options for icons. You can do a search, or you've got categories. These are all provided by the Noun Project that has some wonderful icons that are put inside your badge. So I'll let you select an icon for your badge. Oh, I know something happened. You can click on See More and you have more options with the icons. So let me know when you come back. I have an icon. So I have a border and I have an icon. Once I have a couple of people telling me, I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go too slow. So I'm trying to let you guide me on the time, how much time you need. So we have a border. We have an icon within our border if we want it. Then the next thing is you're going to select the text icon, which is the A, and that allows you to put text in for your badge. If you don't want a badge, a banner, sorry, if you don't want a banner, it says Seahorse badge. If you don't want that, then just put no text and you'll just have a plain icon. And that should be pretty fast. And it, oh, and here's your border. I apologize. I thought the border was the top one. The first one was the shape, and then this is the, you have a choice of 4 borders. So you have different shapes and you have a few borders. And then you can go ahead and save your icon at any time. And the last one are the colors. So you can, to change the colors, you have to click anywhere in the color, click and hold your mouse, and then that'll bring that color up. Or you can locate your little color picker. It's usually at a corner. And you have an option to do the fill, the icon, and I believe, let's see what it, the fill, the icon, the border, and the banner. So you can have them all different, all 4 different colors if you would like. So let me know if you have any problems with the colors. For some reason, the colors is always the hardest part for me. I have to go. Randall, thank you so much for coming, and I hope that you will look at the video from where you left off if you would like to finish up the workshop. All right, so how are we doing? Are we ready to keep going? Have you selected your colors? How do we share with the group? Well, okay. Omar, you're obviously advanced. Yes, you're going to send the credit to me. So if you want, if you go to Earn a Badge Today to the PowerPoint, if you download that, what you're going to do once you've finished your badge, let me see, I think I have a slide in here. Okay, so make sure you save your badge. That should be fine for everybody, even if you're still working. And then after you save the badge, you're going to be ready to issue the badge, right? So you're going to issue a badge to me. And since I'm brand new to your account, you're going to have to type in my name, first name and last name. And let me get to that slide. You're going to have to do my email address. And then you have some other options that you can add as the issuer. But you can make it easy for today. Let me get to... Well, so hang on just a second, Omar. Or Stephen. I think Stephen and Omar, if you give me just a minute, I'll get to that slide in the presentation. So you have the option that if you have a group of students and there are 30 students and you're going to issue the badge, if you create a CSV file, you can upload that. It'll bring all of your students in with one little click. It's a really easy thing, and there is a video in Credly that will explain to you how to do that, and it's very, very simple to do. Otherwise, you can add individuals one at a time. Okay. So if you have extra information, you can do the issue date. You can change that if you want to. You can write a testimonial. That was the congratulations that we saw in one of the examples. If you want to add evidence of what someone did, maybe the format of some document that they created in an office class, you could put that there, and you have different file types you can add. So to send, then you're going to send your credit. So let me get to I think the next slide. Well, I'm going to go through the process before you send it to me. So let me slow down a little bit. So what happens is you as the issuer, you send the credit. Then the earner is going to get an email. So they do need to be able to have, or they have to have an email account that they can receive email from. And you can see that I sent this. It tells it who it's coming from. So that would be the issuer from Outreach from OTAN via Credly. And then it's going to Marjorie. And so Marjorie has an email in here, and it says there's a credential waiting for you. That may have been the same email that you got when you created your Credly accounts. So the earner clicks on that. Then this is what the earner is going to see. So maybe some of your earners may need a little help. It says congratulations, it gives your name, and it says that they've added a badge. Now they have to create a Credly account in order to receive the badge. So they will need to have an email address, they have to create a password, agree to the terms of service. And it gives all the, you can see in this particular badge, it's got the title, it has the description, and the evidence. This one actually had evidence with it. Okay. So now that they have earned the badge, now they can manage it. And this is where, when I was showing you the examples of the badges, those were public badges. So anybody can go in and look at that. And the student or the earner has the ability to make any of their badges public or private. They can group them and they can display them as they would like. They can also share them. So we've got the eyeball, which means public or private. They can get rid of it if they don't want it anymore. Maybe it expired. And then they have the ability to share. You can, when you click on the share link, you can see that you've got the different social media that you can share it. You also get the ability to embed it. If maybe if a student were to have a website, they can share a link that would go to either an educational institution, a consumer of some sort, or maybe a future employer, and then they can download it. So this is just an example of the steps that I'm in Credly. I link my LinkedIn account with my Credly account and what this looks like. Then it's share it as an update. You can also, there are ways that you can go into LinkedIn and you can post it to groups, you can send to individuals, but you can also post it to certain, fix it to certain places in your LinkedIn account if you'd like. And then you've also got the ability to do it on Twitter if your students are using Twitter. And you can see these are my two Q badges that I had award. I put them in my summary on my LinkedIn account, and they're statically affixed. Here you go. So for those of you that have created your badge, so this is what you're going to want to do. So make sure your badge has a short description about what it represents, that there's some type of criteria in that badge. Then you're going to issue a badge to, the first name is OTAN, the last name is Techie, the email address is otantrainesyou@gmail.com, and then that'll just issue it to our OTAN account. Then what I'm going to do is, I can pull those up. We can actually open that and see that. For the testimonial, go ahead and put a congratulations if you would like. If you want to add a picture or some type of evidence in your badge, you can. If you want to add a tag, again, that's up to you. Then go ahead and send the credit to me, and then I'll be able to issue you a badge for attending the workshop, but also mastering. You created a Credly account, you created a badge, and you issued a badge. I'm going to just sit quietly for a moment and see if anyone has any questions. I will open up my account. See if I have any badges coming through. Does anyone have any questions on how to issue the badge? I want to leave this information up for you. Okay, I knew immediately who I had got one of the badges for. Awesome. So what I'm going to do, if everyone if I can go off of this, I'm going to go out and I will share the badges that I am earning. So as they come into my Credly account, I'm logged in, and I can see that I'm earning new badges. I have an I Love Penguins badge, and I can choose to accept it. It gives me the description, the criteria. Let's see if there's evidence in here. Oh, there's a QR code. I'm not sure. I think that might have just been a practice, so we won't go there. Or maybe I have to have a device to read it. And you can see that I have an issuer and I have a testimonial. So when I get ready as the earner, I can select accept. Before I go anywhere, I'll see also that I have one from Placer School of Adults, MA Terminology. Perfect. I have a description, criteria. Perfect. So I'm going to accept this so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, so now I have my earned badges, and it went from 13 to 14. I'm going to accept this one. And now I have no new credits to accept. Let's see if I've gotten any more in the meantime. And I have my inbox. So here's my inbox. I have a new badge that just came through. So I have an inbox. And these are all of my badges that I have earned. So I have my list of badges. And I might add that the ones that y'all created today are mighty fine badges. Very good. You'll see that all of my badges are actually public. If I want to make one private, so let's take this one, I'll make it private. Then it's not available to anyone to see. If I go to hidden, then I'm going to have it here, and it's hidden. So your learners and earners can organize them how they would like, and I don't have any categories, but I could categorize my badges if I like here and then decide which ones are available for other people to see. And I've got some more badges here. I have one from Corona Narco Adult School for the Winter Summit. Thank you, Jody. That's lovely. And On-Ramp to Education created one. 4 microcredits for creating a digital badge. Perfect. I love these. These are great. So if you didn't have time to finish your badges, we have some more coming through. Semi Institute, very good. Oh, I love it. The U.S. Citizen Prep, nice. Very good. And let me get back. Okay. So let me go back to our presentation because I have some more work for y'all to do. Okay. So do you feel like did everybody get a chance to finish their badges? You may still be finishing them up. If we can come back into the Connect room, that would be great. So if you would just type I'm back, and we'll see how many people are back. We'll give okay. Great badges. I'm very impressed. So as you can see, using Credly is fairly easy. It's straightforward. Probably the hardest part of Credly is the colors. And I don't know why I have such trouble with the color selection, but I do. If you didn't have time to finish your badge today, not to worry. You can send it to me later. I'll issue all of you badges for completing the badge assignment today. This is another one, Digital Promise Educator and Workforce, just some more information on our badges here to stay. Do we think they're going to keep going forward? They continue to meet yearly. They bring together the Digital Promise Educator and Workforce Micro-Credential Summit continues to bring teachers, administrators, entrepreneurs, nonprofit reps, K through 12 and higher ed together to look at micro-credentials. Where are we going with it? And what do we need to do? So let me ask you, I see Ryan. Yes, Ryan, I didn't realize you were here. Yes, so when I did a workshop with Ryan recently, we did discover that Credly has a limitation now, which is fairly new, that with Credly, a teacher can issue up to 50 they can, with one account, it's 50 individuals, but they can give them as many badges as they want for those individuals. I started looking at other services. Well, so what that means is, so if you have a class of 50 earners or 50 students, you're limited by that one account for those 50 with Credly unless you want to pay a fee. And I don't know what the, I don't remember what the fees are. I don't remember if they have them published on their site. Credly, I think, has just gone to this pay for service, which is different. Most of the badging community has an attitude of open and free. So I think receiving badges will always remain free, but as we've seen with Credly, that had been free for years, that they're now, I assume, trying to support themselves. So it's 50 earners per account, but as many badges as they earn. So that's fine. So you may have to do different accounts, or it may be finding a different service out there that hasn't done that. My guess, since Credly's gone to the pay version, all of them will follow suit ultimately, which makes me very sad because we haven't done this for 3 or 4 years. So that being said, badges. So what are we thinking? Do we feel like this is something that could help motivate our learners? Motivate our learners. Do you feel like badging is something that I know that Jody and Omar and Carlos, if whoever's here, I think it's just Jody and Omar. What has been your experience with the badging program that you have? Now you're going into your second year, I believe. Or I guess you had a year of development and now you're into your first year of implementation. I may have misspoken. Corona Narco has done so much. Their consortium has done so much. They're a wonderful resource. I'm always asking Jody if I can send people to her. She's very willing to help out. This is your first year of implementation. Great. Have you had students that have started to earn badges yet, Jody? And what's the reaction? Oh, great. Wonderful. And Toynbee, with the summit in January for AEBG, Toynbee will actually be doing a presentation for any of you that will be attending that summit in January. There will be a presentation about Jody's program and what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to go over to, I have one more. I have an activity for you. Okay, so I have three, my polls won't move. Hey, Veronica, are you there? I can't get my polls to move over. Thank you.
You want them here?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and I don't know if I can resize them.
Let me see.
So I have three polls for you that I would love to get information from you. I can't do anything. That's pretty bizarre. So if you would, and yeah, move the third one over, please. Sorry. My computer's not happy. So if you would, just, we're going to use the KWL. If you would fill out, think about what you learned today, what you want to know, and what you already knew. Thank you for whoever did that. I would love to get some feedback from you on the presentation today. Just kind of a moment of reflection on the badges presentation today. We're almost at the end. Since my computer's not working, we may be at the end sooner than I thought, huh? I'm going to quit talking. I think we have 4 minutes, so you get 3 minutes, so that's a minute and one. Great, so somebody learned how to create a badge. Perfect. Nice, the online practice, thank you. I hope that this was good. So for the, I want to know how to share publicly outside of Credly, I think that if you go back through what we went through today, you go to the Credly site, you'll be able to see that. The student actually has an option that when they click that share option, it's that little V on the side thing. You'll see how they have the option to share it, either embed it somewhere, or they can share a link that they could put in an email. So I think that, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I think I can type, yeah. Feel free to email me. I'm going to give you another email address. support@otn.us. You can email me for the next 8 days, and then after that, send any of your questions about digital badges. If you would like to have a workshop at your site, we went out to Ryan's for his consortium. We went out and did a 3-hour workshop on badges where we went through this at a much slower pace. Everything was hands-on in the lab, and I was able to go in a little more depth to kind of the history of badges. So we would love, OTAN would love to come do a workshop if that would be advantageous to you. That'd be great. Again, Jody, are you willing to type in your contact information, that if anybody would like more information on your program, that would be great. They have done a fabulous job with About Riverside Consortium. So it would be wonderful. Yes, and I'm retiring, so after December 22nd, I won't be able to answer your questions. So thank you, Vicki. I loved your badge. Thanks, Jody. Good. So we've got some good answers here. We have about 2 minutes if there are any other questions that you want to ask. And please do the evaluation. It's always great to get the feedback, good, bad, indifferent, because it helps us to make for better workshops next time around too. Thank you, Bronca. Yes, I'm retiring. But who knows? Our paths may still coordinate. We may still cross paths. We'll see. So thank you all very much. Um, I really appreciate your time. I know everyone's busy. I hope that you'll get out there and put a badge on it. And I will be sending badges to those of you that sent badges. So you have until next Friday to send me a badge. And then after that, everything shuts down. Yes. Yeah, and then and yes, I mean OTAN will continue the badging, the digital badging promotion too. So badges are not going away, just me. And I won't be going that far. So okay, Veronica, you want to say a few ending words? Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go off mic and let Veronica tie up the loop.
Okay, thank you, Blair, for this wonderful presentation today. Please be sure to check out the AEBG website for a recording of this presentation as well as the documents that Blair has provided. In addition, please be sure to fill out the online evaluation and let Blair and AEBG TAP know what you think about this webinar, as well as if there are any other technical assistance or professional needs that you may have. Be sure to have a great day. Happy holidays. AEBG TAP will also have a webinar on January 10th with another OTAN staff person, Penny Pearson, and she will be bringing a lot of OTAN resources for all adult educators. Until then, happy holidays. Everyone have a great holiday season.